Hey, Jacksonville and everyone across the First Coast, nationally and globally. It's Weather Watchers Worldwide. Lou, how you doing this
Welcome to it. Robert, I'm great. I think there was something about the cold air this morning that just was kind of invigorating. You know,
That's it.
That was it. Out that first time, I actually would not let my son bike to school today because it was so cold. I was like, you know what, we're changing this up. I'm going to drop you off. Got the car warmed up.
Good dad.
But that first walk out this morning at about 6:15 to get the car warming up, yeah. Because I was still in my jammy jams. I was in shorts and a t-shirt. We would just sprint out there, and I mean, I've been awake ever since, just like vibrant. Now, just kind of before we get to the what's coming up, which we'll leave on your screen there for a minute. Tell me about your morning. Has been interesting. You were on Good Morning Jacksonville today, outside in it from the wee hours. So we're starting at 4:30.
Well,
what did you?
I have to start off with my drive into work. My advice the last 24, 48 hours was check your tires and all that because it's going to get cold. Got in my car, all my tires, the sensors went off on them. And so I had to make that early morning run to Wawa and get some air at 3 a.m. So I was out there, you know, and then, this morning on GMJ, we were outside live. Also did traffic, and there was multiple accidents, unfortunately, this morning. And then, of course, talking about the weather forecast and everything, we got down to some record-tying cold. Just talking about not only today, but maybe some wintry weather even heading into tomorrow and over towards Sunday, too. So, busy day.
Busy day, cold day. We've kind of been talking about this cold, and so get us to it. What's coming up for us? What are we going to hit in this stream?
In this specific stream, let's talk about that cold across the southeast in the United States, for that matter. We're going to track a little bit of some tropical weather because this is Weather Watchers Worldwide. So some spots that we do want to mention, and we'll share some Weather Watcher photos. And we got a little treat for you, a local connection to Jacksonville around our area. A video about an emu and a chase, and it's interesting.
Emu, and Doug.
There's so many good emu references.
Liberty National commercial, I think it's the insurance company. Either way, that's a showstopper for me. I'm watching some football, and Emu Comes on, and boom, I'm stopping. I'm watching.
From Dude, Where's My Car, where they get chased by an emu.
Deep pull.
Well, yeah, deep. That was.
It is
a
great story.
Right,
a great story, though. So stick around for it because it was well told.
Do want to talk about the national picture? I mean, we got actually this cold air supported by a deep area of low pressure that just kind of thrusted its polar high in. Actually, not locally, but I want to show you some video out of Buffalo, New York, because multiple reasons. One, it's some good video out of Buffalo, New York. They're getting the snow out there. Two, you know what? They can have it. They can win their playoff game, and then they go home to this. So,
boom.
Are you winning, Buffalo?
Look at the infrastructure, though. I mean, that truck right there is something that would be just like an alien spacecraft us in Florida, but built for that. You know what I mean?
There was one guy who just rolled by in an electric bike right there. You're like, that person was not ready for it.
These scenes are cinema quality, though. You know, like that long shot down the street, that looked like an album cover.
Look at that fur coat right there.
Yeah. I mean, that's it, but that's it's beautiful. But look, don't touch is always what I reference. You look, don't touch is that with the snow.
Oh, but there's your alien spacecraft rolling down the road right there.
Dumping some sort of product down on
salt.
the road. Yeah.
I was up in this area a couple weeks ago, and I wore my boots yesterday that I wore up there, and I noticed there was like white blemishes all over them
from the salt or
from the salt,
chemicals.
From the salt, yeah. It's like that salt just gets into your clothes and your boots, and look at all of that. It makes your cars age really fast.
Yeah. It just kind of looks crummy because of it.
But that's a job that you will not get in Florida, is loading up the salt trucks.
Yeah.
Tons of fun.
Makes me want to brine a chicken. Should do a little chicken brine with some road salt.
That's the story of chicken wings.
That's the next influencer recipe, that's on. It goes crazy on social media. Is like, can you cook a chicken with street brine?
Do you know the lore of buffalo wings, chicken wings? The whole lore of it.
I don't know the lore.
So it was supposedly in the blizzard of '77. Like the biggest, most noteworthy blizzard like in Buffalo's history. All right.
So is this 1877?
1977. 1977.
All right. So Buffalo Wings' origin story goes on to 77.
Yes,
I would have thought it was
yes.
older than that.
And then apparently at Anchor's Bar, where it originally started, chicken wings. Before that, apparently no one's ever ate a chicken wing before. And
it's a great part of the bird.
And what happened was, the lore is that everything was shut down. No shipments of real chicken stuff came in. So the leftovers were just the wings. And they were like, all right, let's just throw that in the deep fryer and see what happens. Mm-hmm. And then they threw some sauce on it. And then they had chicken wings were born. And that is the lore of buffalo wings.
There you go.
There you go.
Now you know. Lesson from Robert Spetta. Thank you, sir.
Weather related.
Blizzard of 77.
Blizzard of 77. All right, let's come back to our let's go to the southeast, though, because of course we're talking about the cold here across the country. I do also want to talk about what's happening in the southeast. Spot temperature today got down to 21 degrees.
Yeah.
Now that it's the coldest in 5,000 days. I do want to point this out, though, is that the 5-minute average only hit 22. So I had a little egg on my face this morning because I was saying it got down to 21. It did, but it didn't.
It did, but it didn't last long enough to qualify. There are parameters, and rightfully so. When we're talking about climatology, when we're about record keeping, there are certain parameters that must be hit for official archival data.
Yeah,
and these are things that go to forecasting. So there, a brief moment where you hit 21. But
I think of it like wind versus wind gust.
There you go.
Very similar type of idea.
Yeah.
What blew my mind though is look at Cecil.
Cecil in the teens. Yeah, I saw Cecil at 18. I saw Hurlong, which we don't, not official wording, but Hurlong was down to I think 19, but in the teens as well. White House, that field was at 18, 19, 20. So the West Side, I would a lot of teens on the West Side. Craig hit the record. I mean, Craig's record was 25.
Yeah.
So they were at 25. I don't know. I didn't see the point of the hourly observation for Craig, but at one point, and that was it was at least an hourly observation.
And Craig's not too far away from the river either.
No. So 25 there would tie the record. They may have gotten 24 for some moments. So we'll see if they broke the East Duval kind of.
What really got me here is because some people might ask, why is Cecil at 18? Why is NAS Jax at 30? It's because it's sitting right on the river, and the river usually keeps you modified.
Yeah.
Look at NAS Jax and St. Augustine, both below the free point,
and that's rare.
Yeah.
Jinx. But Mayport at 33. The beaches. I'm sure Mayport is kind of our official measuring spot for Jacksonville Beach. But up towards Fernandina, I'm certain that freeze was at least approached for moments, and frost out there. So while we were talking about weather impact alert all the way to the beach, because of that potential damage to very sensitive plants and vegetation. But yeah, you mentioned the river. So it is wild how, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you worked in it for a while. I mean, their sensors are on the river. I mean, like right by the water.
It's right by the water, and like the water kind of loops around it too. So it's not just one side; you get multiple sides.
Yeah.
And it's actually less than 100 feet from the north side of the base there, which is right on the river. So.
Right.
Yeah, it modifies it quite
It's amazing.
significantly.
But Keystone down to 23, and which hints at Florida-wide temperatures. Getting freeze. I saw 32 in Orlando this morning, for a brief moment. So very, very cold statewide.
Yeah, we got the cold weather alerts clear down to I think Fort Pierce didn't get quite the freezing, but they were in the mid-30s.
Yeah.
And 30s even to Miami, or high 30s, lower 40s. That
Right.
iguana alert everybody talked about, I'm sure this morning. We're going to see videos this afternoon of iguanas just falling trees.
And the thing, and as we look at kind of the last 20 hours across Jacksonville, look at that drop.
I think
like
the
a brick.
consistency in the 20, that's what I wanted to show here.
Yeah. That's, essentially we were below freezing. Essentially what we said, 11, 12 o'clock, we were going to get below freezing. And then 1 hour later, we stayed in the 20s, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, and 9 o'clock at 32. So essentially, that we were 10 hours below freeze.
And I think that's hard freeze criteria. It's got to get down to 25 for an extended period. But if you didn't cover your plants, you may have some issues this morning.
Yeah.
I updated this graphic for today, but this is just to show you that, yes, today was by far the coldest day of the season.
Oh, yeah.
By far.
By far. So, with what we have around the coldest air we've had. And going back to Florida weather in general. So I was kind of, I was telling Ross yesterday, I try to assume always a posture of learning. I want to try to learn something.
Yeah.
And I don't know everything, obviously, as my weather team does. I'm trying to educate. So at this point yesterday, we were talking cold weather advisories come out for South Florida.
Yeah.
All the way to basically Homestead, to the peninsula or the end of the peninsula. And I was like, well, the criteria for a cold weather advisory for Georgia or the southeast Georgia, 20. Temperatures or sensible temperatures at or below 20 degrees. For us here in Northeast Florida, 25.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what South Florida was. Did you know what South Florida?
I would assume it's 25, but I guess that doesn't make sense.
No.
Is it 32?
Because they got their cold weather advisory all the way to Miami, and I was like, wow, what are they forecasting for Miami? And started to look. So cold weather advisories, which National Weather Service will activate. Essentially, that'll put services in motion for warming centers and things like that around different municipalities. 35 degrees. 35. So when Miami and South Florida essentially get south of the I-4 corridor, Fort Pierce and below, it's the temperature has to be not even freezing. It has cold weather advisories. We're talking alerts are going out for South Florida if the actual air temperature or real field.
But that makes sense.
35 and below. Yeah, it does.
Because, and for somebody from Buffalo's, we just showed the snow video there, they're like, okay, that's a warm winter day.
Right.
In Miami, never gets down like that. You have a lot of homes that probably don't even have heating in them.
Right.
So 35 is a bad day.
That's a bad day.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So interesting stuff. There's your low temperature.
I learned something new
for the morning. I did too yesterday because I didn't know. I thought to myself, gosh, because we don't really get the cold weather advisories for South Florida too many winters.
Pretty incredible, the entire state, pretty much, outside of Key West.
Correct.
And that's why Jimmy Buffett always hung out there. 60 tomorrow, though, and this is just classic Florida. It rebounds.
Yeah. So this is interesting kind of part of the weather story is what's going to happen Saturday leading into what happens Sunday.
Yes.
Right? So if we're pushing 70 ahead of a rain event with cold air behind it, it just about makes it impossible to create the snow event that so many are hoping for, that models earlier in the week are really painting.
Ooh.
But and me too, I want it. I want to see it.
Yeah.
It's just so hard with that warm air preceding the rain. But looking at futurecast, even Saturday evening, we're going to be watching for that chance of showers. The southwest winds kind of kicking in, warming us up. So Saturday sees the day, right? Your outdoor plans.
Yes, Because even if it doesn't snow in it's not going to snow in Jacksonville.
Right.
All right. It's going to be 40s and raining.
Yeah.
Which is miserable.
Miserable day Sunday.
I'd rather have snow. Personally, I would rather have snow.
Yeah,
than 40s
because
and
then
rain.
you're out fun.
Yeah.
You're like looking at stuff.
But even that aside, that just kind of falls off of you.
Yeah.
40s and rain.
Terrible. So that's what we're looking at. And that's why weather impact alert for Sunday. I saw that on the 7-day, and Robert's talking about that this morning. You might think, is it because of winter weather? It's because of 99% of us really will just be experiencing a very, very cold, rainy Sunday.
And those that do know, so right here you might look at that and you go, oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Two things. One, we just mentioned today's really warm. So the ground is warm in a good portion of it, relatively warm. It's not like you touch the ground, it's going to be 100 degrees, but
Yes.
it is above freezing. So even if we do get some wet, fat snowflakes, they're going to hit the ground, it's going to melt almost immediately. Mm-hmm. And the duration of said snowfall will not even allow for much accumulation. If we see something accumulate, it would be like on top of somebody's roof of a car, on a metal surface that dropped in, and it would only be for a short period of time. And then the sun could start to come out by the afternoon, and the sun hits that, and it sublimates away, and then you don't have to worry too much about any snow on the ground there. We'll be out there in the protector, though. I will.
Yeah.
On Sunday, hopefully catching some of those big fat snowflakes as they fall down. Highest chances Waycross or maybe just north of Waycross, but it's going to be short-lived and not worried about it in Jacksonville.
So home base for Mr. Speta is going to be Waycross, but that's a easy jump to Blackshear or east out of the area, going north a little bit to Tifton. That's driving distance. Another one that could certainly, is per the some of the snow forecast modeling showing us would be a likelier spot to see thing at all. But we're going to chase. We're going after it because it's so rare. All just happened a year ago, 4 days from now.
Yeah. But we got to break in that protector with the snow.
But we got to get those big tires.
You got to get those.
A little work in some cold, if nothing else, some cold, wet conditions and get it handled. But one of these streams, I know you got more to get to before we conclude. I do really want to, and we don't have the opportunity to do this very much, but talking about the nerdy weather stuff with forecasting snow would be a lot of fun. The 850 temperatures, we're talking about heights of the atmosphere and 850 millibars, why that's important, and the temperature not being quite cold enough at 850 for Jacksonville and toward the St. Mary's River to really get anything going. That would be a deeper column of cooler air, and then getting closer to the surface, it just warms up. And then also, showing, modeling with what we call a skew T chart. Oh yeah, it would be could be fun,
especially
and maybe
in like
it wouldn't for you.
Complex event where there's freezing rain potentially in there.
Yeah,
that would be
because you get
interesting.
You got to talk about the whole column of air, and if Saturday we're going to be hitting highs of 45, 50, and lows close to 32, 33. I mean, then you're talking about way more potential, but that's the thing with snow forecasting. It's you got to have it all line up, and it's the line I use probably to my weather team's dismay. But it is truly, you got to hit a Yahtzee, and all 6 Yahtzee on the first roll. You know what I mean? Because there's no do-overs with it. The rain's going to be, the moisture moves so fast. And the temperatures have to just beat the rain. So anyway, that is just a little spiel. It's just really hard. So we don't think, in fact, we can confidently say there will be no snow in Jacksonville. It's really going to be tough to see anything south of, certainly the St. Mary's River, but into Charleston County, that would kind of almost be the southern extent of seeing a flake or two.
Yeah. So it's, I think, just a messy day on Sunday. That's one of the big things you want to take away from it. A cliche: stay inside and read a good book type thing.
Absolutely. Have some soup, stew. It's going to be a bummer of a day. But you're aware of it. Any of those outdoor plans Sunday morning, especially church, brunch, whatever you're going to be doing. Still got to go to church, so get there. But we're definitely bundling up and wearing the rain gear.
All right, so let's go for a break real quick, and then we're going to come back. We're going to talk a little global tropics, take a look at some photos, and I got that emu story I want to get to real quick as well. So let's take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Why do we come here? To reach new heights, to dive to new depths. You can call it a team, even a community. That connection with others. We all deserve that. So why come here? This is why.
Swing into luxury, where golf and community come home. Located in St. John's, Florida, Stillwater is a premier 55-plus active adult community where golf is in your backyard. This bundled golf course community features a championship 18-hole course, top tracer practice facility, and resort-style amenities. Whether perfecting your swing or connecting with neighbors, Stillwater offers the perfect blend of relaxation and recreation. Live where every day feels like a game.
Maybe you're new to all this streaming, OTT, on-demand stuff. You need a trusted news and weather source, and we've got you with First Coast News Plus.
That's some pretty serious cold.
Your most accurate forecast, your weather impact alerts,
heavy law enforcement presence,
extended breaking news coverage,
and that breaking news right now at Camden County, Georgia,
and exclusive specials all on your schedule. So download First Coast News Plus and start watching for free.
Lou, you want to know something? It's January.
It is.
And we don't typically talk about the tropics.
Good point. In fact, there's a part of my brain, maybe the back right side of my brain, not a good portion of part of it, that's like, Robert Spetta!
Well, I'm going to bring the tropics in here.
Well, this is a global show, so yes, show me the globe.
But you know what's interesting? So you might be thinking, okay, he's talking about southern hemisphere cyclones. No, we're not. Out in the Philippine Sea, look at this big old fat storm moving over the Philippines. Yeah. This is a tropical storm, Ada, as it's known there, or Nokayan internationally. Winds right now at 45 miles per hour. It was up to about 65 at one, drifting off towards north, kind of loop around and linger. A big rainmaker off of the Philippines here. But believe it, this isn't uncommon. They get tropical storms. Yeah. Remember, it was 2012. They came to visit, and the Pope still did his thing, and there was like a full-on typhoon, but it was in January. It was just like the most craziest thing. People still did it. Yeah, no, they went out there. Pope skills got a Pope.
He's got a Pope. Not quite with this one. Maybe like you said, a little bit of rain.
A lot of
and things that used to.
Yeah, this is a calm storm compared to some of the other ones that they'll get out there. A tropical storm, big rainmaker for the East Coast. Just wanted to talk about the tropics real quick. Let's try to touch in on the weather watchers worldwide somewhere in the globe. We also want to mention it. Let's talk about this cold. I got some good photos here. Lou.
Brenda always brings it on. Go to the Weather Watchers page, even if you're not necessarily the best photographer. I'm sure what other folks are, because they tell some stories with these pictures. Cole, appreciate it. Bob, always the pro, knows him with that really cold sunrise, right about when we were hitting our low. Once again, a pitch. Go check out the First Coast News Weather Watchers. When you share your pictures there, we'll a lot of times either share them here on our streams or on air as well. So we love the pictures. Thank you so much.
I love these. And this is locally all here in the Jacksonville area, worldwide. But this story, when I first heard the story, I actually thought it was a national.
Yes. A story that will be national, but it's just this time it's based in our backyard.
So show this video, and this is out of St. John's County on the left there. And what is Tina? Emu.
Ken, probably, like cousin Tina and I, maybe
he's running from the police here.
So St. John's County that actually kind of went and got Tina had this great conversation there on the captions. He gets her and handcuffs it. Check out the full story with the interview and everything, please, because the owner gets their emu back. No charges were filed again. He resisted, and they ultimately, he was like, the best. Let me just put my handcuffs on it. It's
my favorite, though, if you watch the video, go to firstcoastnews.com and talk.
yes.
I'm like, does that help with emus?
Got it.
Come here, Tina. It must work.
I understand he used some sort of makeshift lasso.
I love Florida.
Allegedly, well, in the big story. I can't implore you enough to go check it out. Of all these different animals, and just one gate happened to be left open, but she is back and happy now. Back home.
Other neighbors drove by and were like, is that Tina rolling down? Because if you live near this, you have to know that there's
I think somebody probably thought maybe they were driving by and thinking, oh, are they shooting? There's the film crew. They're trying to shoot. They're selling insurance, man.
First goes forecast and everything there, and you can rewatch this.
Please do.
A big shout out to everybody who has as well on our chat here talking about the snow.
Oh, well, we won't. Florida.
Yeah.
Let's watch our friend Robert Spetta this weekend as he goes up in the Protector, and it'll be fantastic stuff either way. Y'all have a fantastic day.